It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. I am your host, Spencer, and I hope you enjoy these words that I got for you today. Here's some words. Take them, enjoy them, play with them, have fun with them, feed them. All right, here we go. The first word is fitchet, F-I-T-C-H-E-T, noun from 1535. The synonym, it's the number one definition for the word polecat, which was the same thing that we had at the end of the previous episode with the word fitch or fitchu. I don't know why they couldn't have just put fitchet in here as well. Maybe because the year is different, they had to put it in its own entry? I'm not sure. I should have put that in with the previous episode, but I didn't know what it was because I don't look ahead. So there you go. Fitchet, fitchu, fitch, fitchu, or fitchet are a polecat. That's it. All right, my sound effect today, I think let's do something silly like work it. Maybe we'll have some fun with that. Okay, the next word is fitful, F-I-T-F-U-L. Adjective from 1592. Number one is obsolete, and it is characterized by fits or paroxysms, which, if we go to the previous episode, that was all about the, I think, like the seizures, the epileptic fits. Where was it specifically? Somewhere in here, because I remember seeing that word paroxysm. Scrolling. Can't read. Here we go. A sudden violent attack of a disease like epilepsy, especially when marked by convulsions or unconsciousness. Yeah, so a fitful is characterized by those fits, but it's obsolete. So would you say you're a fitful person, maybe? Maybe it became kind of disrespectful, and that's why we're not using it so much anymore. Oh, they're such a fitful person. They have paroxysms. Number two, having an erratic or intermittent character. The synonym is irregular. My character is so irregular. I feel like that reminds me of a Stephen Wright joke, and I wonder if I've told it before. I think there's a whole setup. I think it was I had to get a new phone. I didn't have a lot of money, so I had to get an irregular phone. Or maybe he could have said I had to get a fitful phone. It had no 5. So irregular it's all about your character. Maybe your emotions are up and down. Maybe you're hot and cold. You're happy, you're sad. You've got maybe bipolar, possibly fitful. So maybe, I don't know, maybe this is not a way to describe people anymore. Fitfully is an adverb, and fitfulness is a noun, and we have a few synonyms. Here we go, let's do it. Fitful, spasmodic, convulsive mean lacking steadiness or regularity in movement, specifically movement we're talking about. Fitful implies intermittence, a succession of starts and stops, or risings and fallings, as in fitful sleep. Now, not literally standing up and falling down. We're talking about maybe the sleep, good sleep, bad sleep. I do sometimes have fitful sleep. Like last night, couldn't get to bed, finally fall asleep. You wake up, the cat starts meowing because she wants food, and I'm like, I got 20 more minutes until the alarm goes off. Stop bothering me. Spasmodic adds to fitful the implication of rapid or violent activity alternating with inactivity, as in spasmodic growth. I think a lot of children go through this sort of thing where maybe one year they'll grow tall real quick, and then the next year they won't grow so tall, and maybe the next year they'll grow tall again. You know, it's in those sort of steps. Spasmodic fits and starts, fits and spits and craps. Let's see, starts and stops, risings and fall. The implication of rapid or violent activity and then inactivity. A whole lot of stuff and then not a lot of stuff. This podcast is not spasmodic, except when I go on my short break in between seasons, in between letters. It's just regular episodes constantly. Convulsive suggests the breaking of regularity or quiet by uncontrolled movement. The breaking of the regularity or quiet by uncontrolled movement. So you're just chitting, you're chilling, you're sitting, not doing anything, and then all of a sudden there's uncontrolled movement. Whoa! It's kind of warm in this room. I think I got to turn a fan on. Yeah, that should help. Because when I get into my fitful, spasmodic, convulsive movements, I get very warm. So what else? The example was convulsive shocks. Convulsive shocks. Okay, I think that's enough for that word. Now we're going to go work it, work it, work it. Now we have fitment. Noun from 1851. It is chiefly British. The synonyms are furnishing, number 2, the second definition for furnishing. Okay, also the word fixture. Also the word cabinetry, and this is usually used in plural. So you'd say your fitments. Your fitments are, I guess, your cabinets, the things in your house, built-ins, shelves, whatever, just the stuff in your house, I guess. Those are the fitments. It's from the fourth form of the word fit, which was the verb. And so the British people like to say fitments for those types of things, I guess. Fitments. I'm trying to think of where's the mint come from? I feel like there's another word that I can think of that has sort of a similar, that also ends in mint, that has sort of a similar usage. I can't think of it. Okay, here we go. Work it, work it. I don't know, I feel like there could have been a better sound, but that's okay. Now we have the word fitness. Fitness. Noun from 1580. Yeah, I'm really good at fitness. Fitnessing this donut in my mouth. I think I screwed up that joke. Fitness, I can't remember how it goes. Number 1, the quality or state of being fit. I'm in a quality or state of being fit. I have fitness. Is that how you would use that in a sentence? Number 2. Ooh, this is a big one. The capacity of an organism to survive and transmit its genotype to reproductive offspring as compared to competing organisms. Also, the contribution of an allele or genotype to the gene pool of subsequent generations as compared to that of other alleles or genotypes. What did that say? Well, let's see if we can simplify it. It's the ability of a thing to not only survive, to keep on living, but also to transmit its genetic material to offspring. To the ability of an organism to live and make babies. Right? That's pretty much what it is. So if you have fitness, you have that ability. Interesting. I don't know if I had ever heard it used that way. I guess that's probably how scientists are using it, not me, everyday podcaster people. But fitness. Well, I mean, it's not in here, but, also the thing that you do to get fit, to get in shape. Let's go fitnessing. My brother-in-law said that years ago. He was like, I love fitnessing. It was just some silly joke, and of course that has stuck with me. So now it's like, oh, let's do some fitnessing. Let's do some fitnessing. If I could do fitnessing all a podcast long, I would be really tired. I don't like to do fitnessing, but I do it because I need it. If I don't work out and stretch, my body does not like me and it hurts. And so I was like, oh, well, if I do these things, then it won't feel so bad. And it seems to be working pretty well. And I really got to not sit so much. I'm working on that. All right, let's go fitnessing. Here we go. Work it, work it, work it. Work it when you're fitnessing. Fitted. Adjective from 1652. Number 1, the synonyms are fit and suitable. Number 2, shaped for a precise fit, as in a fitted sheet. These sheets are the worst to fold. I think some people have some tricks out there, but they're not any fun. So people end up just crumbling them all together. I don't usually have to fold a fitted sheet because we'll usually wash the sheet, then just put it right back on the bed. But I do have to fold them sometimes, and I think the trick is you got to get the corners all nice and tight. Then you just fold it real good. But I have seen tricks of people who fold them even better than I do. Fitted sheets, stupid sheets. They're shaped for a precise fit, a precise size of bed. Twin, full, queen, king, California king, joker, jester. That's the kind of bed that I want. But we have more, especially shaped to conform to the lines of the body, as in a fitted shirt. It's fitted to fit your shape. I don't know if I have any fitted shirts. Okay, next. Work it, work it. That's what the exercise people say when you're fitnessing. They say work it. Fitting, first form, adjective from the 15th century, of a kind appropriate to the situation. The synonym is suitable, and another synonym is the word fit. Fittingly is an adverb, and fittingness is a noun. Well, there was no example, but it's like, oh, what is a fitting thing to do or say in this situation? I think we had a similar definition when we had the word fit. Fitting. Oh, that was so fitting when you said that dogs could walk. That was super appropriate to the situation. Work it. Now we have the second form of fitting, noun, from 1607. Number 1, an action or act of one that fits. Specifically, a trying on of clothes which are in the process of being made or altered. So when people, there's a lot of times when people are they're going to get married, and they have they're getting a wedding dress made or fitted, and they're like, well, let's we're working on it. Let's see how well it fits at this point in time. Make sure we're on the right track, and you got to go in for a fitting. See if it fits. See if they're doing the right tailoring. The thing is that they usually start months in advance, and you can't really lose weight or gain weight. It's probably very stressful for them. You got to stay the same shape and size that whole time, because otherwise it ain't gonna fit. I don't think there's a lot of fittings going on with the tuxes. If somebody's wearing a tux or something fancy like that, they're not doing a whole lot of fittings. You might go try it on, and then you're like, yeah, it's fine. It fits. We are very different in that way. Okay, what's next? Number 2, something used in fitting up. The synonym is accessory. Fitting up. So a fitting, I guess if you're just trying to give yourself a little blingy bling, make your clothes a little flashier and more fun, maybe you put on a fitting. Number 3, a small, often standardized part, as in an electrical fitting. It's so vague, an electrical fitting. I'm sure there's very specifics, but it could be anything. You probably fitting something into something else. Plug it in, whatever it is. It's a standardized piece of equipment, I guess. Hey, give me that fitting. What size fitting do you want? Oh, I want the 5/8 fitting. I don't know if that's accurate at all. Work it, work it, work it, work it. Now we have the word five. Let's see, this is the beginning of the FIV section, which is not very long at all. 5, noun from before the 12th century. Number 1, see the number table. Go there, look at 5, enjoy its glory. Number 2 is plural. A British handball game Oh, I have never heard of this before. Fives? Maybe smacking balls with your hands? Interesting. Did not know about this one. Number 3, the fifth. Oh, I guess if you are a British handball fiver player, fives, if you're playing fives, and you want to let me know a little bit about the game, go ahead and write me an email, send me a voicemail. All that information is in the show notes, please and thank you. Number 3, the fifth in a set or series, as in the 5 of clubs. The fifth thing, it's the 5. I also want to say, how did they order these? Number 2 is the British handball game. How did that become number 2? Feels like the third one should have been the second one, which is the fifth one. Okay, number 4, something having 5 units or members, especially a basketball team. So do they call the basketball team the 5? I know that they put 5 players on the court. So yeah, do those top 5, I don't know how they use that. I have not watched a basketball game in a very long time. Number 5, a $5 bill is a 5. Gimme $5, please. Number 6, the synonym is the number 2 definition for the word 15, which we had many, many episodes ago, so you can hear what I had to say about that, which was probably not much. I do kind of remember that. Oh, you could say 5 instead of 15? That's weird. Number 7, a gesture. Oh, this is going to be good. A gesture in which 2 people slap each other's extended hands, as in greeting or celebration. Those are the only times that you're allowed to slap each other's hands, each other's extended hands. They must be extended. You can't 5 this way. If you're watching you got to watch the video for this one. If you keep your hand real close to this would be an awkward 5. This I think I need to high 5 people this way. Here, give me 5. Yeah. Maybe the monkey can. He's really an ape. Because he's supposed to be a chimp. Okay, we got to get back on track because I like this 5, this gesture 5 conversation. Greeting or celebration, those are the only times that you can 5 people. There are no other times when you can 5 people. High 5, low 5. It's too slow. In Scrubs, there is that character, the Todd, who just 5s everything. And I just like how ridiculous it has gotten. He just high 5s everything. And they just have some fun with that. This is usually used in phrases with the words give or slap. Give 5, slap 5. Wow, this feels dated. I don't think people are saying this. I don't even know how much people were ever saying those phrases. I mean, give me 5, yeah, that more so. But slap 5, hey, let's slap 5. There's an example. So I slapped him 5 and hugged him. That is a quote from J.R. Burke. Interesting. Okay, because we're talking about it, we gotta mention some stuff. It's not 5 exactly, I guess, but I was reminded of in the show Broad City, where she goes and has these fancy handshakes with people at Bed Bath and Beyond, and there's probably some 5ing in there. I don't know, but that was very fun. I enjoy people coming up with creative 5s. Like my dad and his friends in high school, they had a 5 where they did this whole hand movement and leg thing, and that was very silly. I don't know what else. Of course, there's the hey, give me 5, up high, down low, too slow, and variations on that. And that's always fun to mess with people. Okay, what else? 5 is an adjective, and 5 is a pronoun plural in construction. I guess when we're talking about maybe those 5 basketball players, like, hey, look at them 5. There's 5 of them out there, and they're hooping. Where does this word come from? It's Middle English, 5, Old English, 5th, akin to the Old High German fünf, which means 5. From the Latin quinque, so different, so very different. and also the Greek pente. So Greek pente is 5, Latin is quinque, which is 5, and then it became in German, Old High German, fünf, and that there's a more smooth variation into English from that. 5. Anything else about 5? I know. Let's talk about the next word. Work it, work it. 5 and 10. 3 words with hyphens. Noun from 1880. This is a retail store that carries chiefly inexpensive merchandise. Examples are notions and household goods, and I don't know what notions are. That's odd. It is called also 5 and dime instead of 5 and 10 because, see, that's a weird one, because it's 5 and 10, 5 cents, 10 cents. 5 and dime makes sense because it's 5 and dime. A dime is 10 cents in America, but they didn't change the 5 to the nickel. Nickel and dime, that's a whole other phrase. But they didn't call the store a nickel and dime, maybe because it's too many syllables? I don't know. Very interesting. Yeah, I think it's like, it's 5 and 10. It's all cheap. It's all 5 cents or 10 cents, give or take. 1880, though, the prices for things were very different in 1880 than they are now in 2025, 145 years later. So, we might still call a store, maybe some of the boomers are still calling a store a 5 and 10 or a 5 and dime just to say that it's cheap stuff. But I will say, there is a store that I had never been to until very recently, so I didn't know what the store was. And it took me a minute to even realize after I was in there, what's it called? 5 up? 5 and 5 down? Oh, crap. What's it called? I got to look it up. But basically, everything is 5 below. I think that's what it's called. Because I think everything is, where's my, yeah, we're still recording. Good. 5, I think it's called 5 below. I should just say it and not even look it up. Here it is. Yeah, 5 below. Discount store company. Everything I think is $5 and below. So yeah, we bought some cheap stuff there for gifts because we don't like people. That's not true. Okay, the etymology, the real etymology says this is from the fact that all articles in such stores were formerly priced at either 5 or 10 cents. Literally just everything was that cheap. That's great. I wish everything was that cheap right now. But now the equivalent is $5, which to us now these days feels very cheap. Work it! Now we have 5 finger, 2 words with hyphens. Noun from before the 12th century. I'm one of those lucky people who has 5 fingers on my hand. The synonym is the first definition for cinquefoil. Oh boy, we need to look this one up. And I went almost exactly to the right page. I love it when I do that. Cinquefoil, here we go. What is this? Oh, it's the herbs and shrubs of the rose family, and also a design enclosed in 5 joined foils. Yeah, I guess it's something with a plant. Anyway, that's a 5 finger, but also they didn't put this in there. Some people get a 5 finger discount when they steal a candy bar. It's the 5 finger discount because they grabbed it with their 5 fingers or 4 fingers and a thumb. You can't really call it a 5 finger unless you're the 6-fingered man from The Princess Bride. Work it! Now we have 5-fold, 1 word, adjective from before the 12th century. Number 1, having 5 units or members. Just 5 things. The basketball team is 5-fold. Maybe there's a club with only 5 people. It's a 5-fold. Number 2, being 5 times as great or as many. Yeah, it's like 5-fold. It's because 2-fold is twice as great. 3-fold is 3 times as great. 5-fold is 5 times more. Wow, that's amazing. 5-fold is an adverb, and that's great. I don't know why the word fold in that context. It's like you're folding a piece of paper, and so that's twice as much thickness of paper. Maybe, I'm not sure. Work it, baby. Now we have 5-HT. You just pronounce it 5-HT, but there's a dash or a hyphen in there. Noun from 1958. The synonym is serotonin. Ooh, interesting. And it's called 5-HT because I guess this is the scientific word for serotonin, which is 5-hydroxytryptamine. There's 5-hydroxytryptamines. Damn it, my mouth doesn't want to work this morning. That's okay. You get the idea. 5-HT. Next we go. Work it, work it, work it, work it. Do some fitnessing. We have 5 of a kind from 1897. 4 cards. Huh? 5 of a kind. 4 cards of the same rank plus a wild card in one hand. See, you can't do 5 of a kind in a regular standard playing card deck because there's only 4 suits. That's why you need the wild. It is interesting that they put this in the book. It does also say, see the poker illustration. So we're going to get to learn all about the different poker hands in about 10 years. 5 of a kind. I got 5 of a kind. There used to be a deck that did have 5 suits many, many years ago. I think it was green. My aunt told me this when I was young, and I would love to have a deck that has 5 suits. Work it. Now we have fiver. Noun from 1843. Number 1 is slang. It's a $5 bill. Give me a fiver, please, so I can go buy some stuff at Five Below. Number 2 is British. It is a £5 note. Very similar. So, America, $5 bill. Britain, England, UK, whatever you want to call that, because it has a lot of names, different variations. It's a £5 note, not $5. It's £5. And in both contexts, you call it a fiver. But what's interesting is that the British one did not say slang. So maybe that's just their normal word for it. Work it. Now we have 5 spice powder. 3 words, there's a hyphen between 5 and spice. Noun from 1970. A blend of spices, typically including anise, pepper, fennel, cloves, and cinnamon, that is used in Chinese cooking. Interesting. Interesting group of spices there. Kind of on the sweet side with the anise and the cinnamon. Fennel and cloves I feel like are kind of in the middle maybe. And then pepper. Pepper is not sweet at all. So I wonder how does this taste when you put all these together? I don't know if I've had a 5 spice powdered meal. Interesting. I'm curious to try it. All right, next, last word. Work it. Work it. 5-star, 2 words with a hyphen. Adjective from 1913. It means of first class or quality, as in a 5-star hotel. It's first class, it's number 1, and it's number 1 because you give it 5 stars on the rating system. And wow, everything has a rating system these days. Most things, I think, stick with the 5-star rating system, but not all. Sometimes it's 10 stars. Sometimes it's 3. Sometimes it's 4. How do you know? You always need to know how many stars is your rating out of. You can rate this 5-star podcast on Apple Podcasts. Click those 5 stars and write a short little review and say, wow, he is so great for talking through all these words and providing me with a little bit of silly funniness. That's worth 5 stars right there. This is absolutely a 5-star podcast. Okay. Anything else about 5 stars? I don't think I've ever stayed at a 5-star hotel because, no, that's not me. All right, here we go. Let's pick a word of the episode. Today we had fidget, fitful, fitment, fitness, fitted, fitting, fitting, 5, 5 and 10, 5 finger, 5 fold, 5 HT, 5 of a kind, 5er, 5 spice powder, and 5 star. Let's see. What was I gonna say? I would like to eat some 5 spice powder food, while you hand me a 5er. While we're also playing poker, and I get 5 of a kind, and that's worth a 5er, I think. Let's see. No, we're gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick fitness as the word of the episode. Not the definitions here, but let's go fitnessing. Let's go fitnessing. Let's get our heart rate up. Do some stretching. Lift those weights and do some fitnessing. That's great. That's great. I do a little fitnessing in the morning. I do the stationary bike for just a short little bit, and then I do some stretching. But I'm trying like once a week or so, I go to the gym to do a real full fitnessing, and then I ache the next day. Okay, movie. It's time for a movie. The next movie on the list that I watched is Nickel Boys. Speaking of 5, although it has nothing to do with 5, I didn't know what this was about. I had seen the trailer, and it looks so interesting, and they don't give any plot, I don't think. And so I was very curious about it, and but I didn't know anything about the plot. And boy, this is worth a watch if you especially in the theater, if you can do it. And because it's talking about an aspect of our American history that I did not really know, and I'm not at all surprised that any of this existed. I think it takes place in the 50s, maybe 50s, 60s. And woo, yeah, it's worth a watch. And I have to mention that it uses a very unique method of filmmaking where everything is from the point of view of somebody. And I had never seen it used quite so much. And of course, when you're shooting everything from a point of view, in a lot of shots like mirrors and stuff, where's the camera? How did they do that? I don't know. You know, with technology, you can paint out a lot of cameras and stuff like that, but I don't know if that was 100% what they did here. So I'm very curious. From a filmmaking standpoint, it was fantastic, very unique and very cool. And then also the story is really great. So, and I think it's based on a book. Yeah. All right. That is it for this episode. Thank you so much for checking out this 5-star podcast with a 5-star host. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Slap me 5.